Welcome to Oculus of the Wise. You already know something shifted. You felt it before you even found this video. Something in you has been restless. Something has been watching, waiting, quietly keeping score. And today, that something led you exactly here. Not by accident, not by the algorithm alone, by design. They hurt you. They used you. They smiled in your face while working quietly to drain everything you had. And when they were done, they walked away like you were nothing. Like you were easy to replace. Like you were forgettable. And for a moment, maybe a long moment, you believed them. You started asking if it was you. You started shrinking. You started wondering if you were too much, too sensitive, too deep for a world that kept telling you to be less. That doubt was not your truth. That doubt was their infection. And today it ends because here is what they never told you. Chosen ones are not broken by betrayal. They are baptized by it. Every single person who walked out on you, used you, discarded you, or laughed at your pain did not weaken you. They activated you, and the force that was watching every moment of what they did to you is now responding. Slowly, permanently, without mercy. If this is already hitting somewhere real inside your chest, press the like button right now and subscribe to Oculus of the Wise. When you engage, you are not just feeding an algorithm. You are pulling this message toward the chosen ones who are still sitting in the dark, still doubting themselves, still wondering if anyone sees what they went through. Your click is their confirmation. Do not keep this to yourself and drop the number 777 in the comments if you have ever given everything to someone who gave you nothing back. I need to know you are here. Now let us get into what they are not ready for you to understand. Number 1, they did not leave you. They disqualified themselves. When they walked away, they thought they were making a choice about you. They were not. They were revealing themselves. They were showing the universe exactly what level of soul they were operating from, and the universe took note of every single detail. Chosen one, let us be real for a second. You gave them everything. Your time, your patience, your loyalty, your energy. You showed up on their worst days. You stayed quiet when you had every right to be loud. You carried weight that was never yours to carry, and you did it without asking for anything in return. And they looked at all of that, at the rarest kind of love and loyalty a person can offer, and they called it ordinary. They called it expected. They took it like it was owed to them and reached for more. You might be asking yourself right now, was I foolish for giving that much? Was I weak for staying as long as I did? The answer is no, and here is why. Generosity is not weakness. Depth is not stupidity. You are not naive. You are operating from a frequency they were never capable of matching. That is not your failure. That is their ceiling. Now, here is what most people miss. When a chosen one is removed from someone's life, it is not just a personal loss. Research on attachment and emotional regulation consistently shows that people who relied heavily on an emotionally intelligent partner experience a collapse in their own self-regulation abilities that can last for years. Their mood destabilizes, their decisions deteriorate, their relationships become increasingly hollow. This is not metaphor. This is measurable. This is what is happening to them right now, whether they admit it or not. They did not leave you behind. They left behind the best version of their own life. And somewhere in the quiet hours when the noise dies down, they know it. They feel it pressing against their chest every single night. Number 2. Your silence has become the heaviest thing in their world. They expected you to react. They expected you to chase, to beg, to send the long message at 2 in the morning, to show up demanding an explanation. They built their entire exit around the assumption that you would fall apart visibly, loudly, in a way that would give them the satisfaction of feeling important one last time. You went quiet instead, and chosen one, that silence shattered them in ways no argument ever could have. Picture someone who has been talking in an empty room, confidently, for months, certain that the echo means someone is listening. Then one day, the room seals shut. No echo, no response, no sound bouncing back, just the sound of their own voice disappearing into nothing. That is what your silence feels like to them. They are speaking into a void they created, and the void does not care. Or think of someone who picked a fight in a thunderstorm, screaming at the sky, expecting the sky to scream back. Then the storm simply moves on. The sky clears. The sun comes out somewhere else, and they are standing alone in the aftermath, soaked, realizing the storm was never fighting them. It was just passing through. That is you. You were never their battle. You were their lesson, and you have moved on to clearer weather. Here is the thing that psychology has confirmed, and they will never admit. The human nervous system is wired to seek closure. When someone who provided emotional stability disappears without spectacle, without drama, without giving the other person a chance to feel justified, the mind enters a loop. It cannot exit without resolution. They replay conversations, they rehearse arguments, they reach for the phone and stop themselves. They listen to songs and freeze. They are not just missing you. They are stuck in a psychological cycle that your silence locked them inside of, and only you can unlock, and you have no intention of ever unlocking it. That is not cruelty, that is wisdom. That is the universe protecting you through your own stillness. But what comes next is where this gets even heavier. Because the silence was only the beginning. Number 3. When you stopped giving, their whole world began to starve. Taking you for granted was their choice. Learning to survive without you is their punishment. And chosen one, they are failing that lesson completely. You might be wondering, why are they struggling so visibly? Why cannot they seem to get traction on anything? Why do the new people, the new distractions, the new situations never seem to satisfy them the way they seemed satisfied before? Because before, they were not satisfied. They were fed by you. There is a difference between contentment and consumption. They were consuming you, and now the supply is gone. Think of someone who has been eating at a restaurant every day for years. A restaurant where the chef prepares something specific and extraordinary just for them, tailored to exactly what they need, made with real care. Then one day, the restaurant closes. They go to every other place in town. Nothing hits, nothing nourishes. The flavors are all wrong. Not because food stopped existing, but because what they experienced was not just food. It was something rare. Something made intentionally for them by someone who genuinely cared. That person was you. And the hunger they feel now, that is not just missing you. That is the specific starvation of realizing they destroyed something irreplaceable. Or picture a city that runs on a single power source, a source that worked silently and consistently for years without anyone paying attention to it. Then the source is removed. The city does not go dark slowly, it goes dark all at once. Traffic signals stop, heating dies. Every system that relied on that power without acknowledging it collapses at the same moment. Their life is that city. You were that power source, and they are sitting in the dark right now, pressing every switch they can find and wondering why nothing turns back on. They are not in heartbreak, they are in withdrawal. Real withdrawal. And the cruelest part of withdrawal is that the thing you are craving is the thing you threw away. They threw you away. Now they are the ones throwing up. If this message is reaching you at exactly the right moment, take a second and share it with one person who needs to hear this today. You know who they are. and subscribe to this channel so the next message finds you before you have to go looking for it. Number 4. You were not their partner, you were their shield, and they destroyed it themselves. Chosen one, there are consequences that were coming for them that you held back for years without even knowing it. You were not just a presence in their life, you were a buffer between them and the full weight of their own choices. Your patience absorbed the chaos they created. Your loyalty softened the edges of their worst instincts. Your energy stood between them and a reality that was building behind you. Waiting the day you walked away, that buffer disappeared. And reality did not hesitate. People in their circle who overlooked things now see clearly. Situations that seemed manageable are now unraveling. Decisions that felt protected are now exposed. Betrayals that were moving quietly underground are now surfacing. Everything you held back for them is now reaching them. And it is reaching them all at once, without a filter, without the version of them that existed when you were present to soften the impact. Here is what the research says and what no one talks about openly. Individuals who emotionally drain a partner without reciprocating tend to perform significantly worse across multiple life domains in the 2 years following that relationship ending. Career focus deteriorates. Social relationships thin out. Physical health markers decline. This is not spiritual language. This is documented pattern. This is cause and effect operating exactly as designed. You did not curse them. You simply stopped standing in front of the bullets they were firing at themselves. And now they are learning, the hard way, what it means to live without protection they never once acknowledged. Number 5. The ones who played games with a chosen one are now being played by their own mind. They built a story. They crafted a version of events that made them the reasonable one, the mature one, the one who had no choice. They shared it with anyone who would listen. They recruited support. They performed wellness publicly while quietly unraveling privately. And for a season, it looked convincing. But chosen one, let us be honest about what that season actually felt like for you. You doubted yourself. You questioned your own memory. You wondered if you were the problem, if your feelings were too big, if your expectations were unreasonable. That gaslighting was not accidental. It was engineered. They needed you to doubt yourself so they could feel justified. But here is what they did not account for. Truth has a half-life that never expires. What they buried does not decompose. It waits. And it has been waiting patiently while they performed their version of the story to everyone around them. Now the cracks are showing. The inconsistencies are visible. The people they convinced are starting to ask questions they cannot answer cleanly. The narrative they built is developing holes they cannot patch. Their reputation is bending under the weight of the truth they tried to suppress, and they feel it. They feel it every time the room shifts when they walk in. They feel it every time someone responds to them differently than they used to. They feel it in the 2 seconds of silence before someone answers their message. That is your truth working silently, consistently, without your involvement. You did not have to fight them. You just had to survive them. And you did. They thought they were winning. They were just winning early. The universe operates on a longer timeline than their ego expected. Number 6. Their mask fell off the moment you left the room. Everything they projected to the world was partially underwritten by your presence. Your warmth covered their coldness. Your credibility backed their image. Your stability made them seem more grounded, more trustworthy, more human than they were when no one was giving them that energy. Chosen one, you were not just in their life, you were running their emotional infrastructure behind the scenes, and the moment you exited, the infrastructure shut down, and the people around them started noticing things they had never noticed before. Their charm is falling flat, their confidence is cracking mid-sentence. Their stories are not adding up the way they used to. Friends they kept for years are quietly creating distance. The energy they walk into rooms with is broadcasting something they cannot control, a desperation, an emptiness, a hollowness that no performance can fully conceal. Think of someone who used to walk into every room, lit from behind by a spotlight they did not own. They looked radiant. They looked magnetic. They looked like someone worth following. Then, the spotlight owner walks away, and suddenly, in ordinary light, people see what was always actually there. Not radiant, reflective, not magnetic, borrowed. Every room they enter now is just ordinary light. And ordinary light is not kind to people who were only ever interesting because of who was standing beside them. They lost you. They lost their light source. They lost their credibility. They lost the foundation of the entire image they spent years building on top of you. And they have to live inside that collapse every single day. Number 7. You were not stuck. You were being held back. And now nothing is holding you anymore. If you are honest, when they were in your life, things felt heavier than they should have. Opportunities that seemed close never quite landed. Peace you worked hard for kept getting disrupted. Clarity you chased kept getting blurry, and you blamed yourself. You thought something was wrong with your direction, your discipline, your mindset. You were wrong about what you were diagnosing correctly. When someone operating from a toxic frequency is woven deeply into your energy, the universe intentionally creates friction around your blessings. Not to punish you, to protect what it is preparing for you, because abundance delivered into a contaminated environment does not flourish. It gets consumed, it gets destroyed. The universe was not withholding from you. It was waiting for you to remove the blockage first. Think of a river that has been dammed by debris that is not supposed to be there. The water is not gone. The current is not weak. The source is not dry. Everything is intact and ready, but the debris is blocking the flow. The moment you clear the dam, the water does not trickle out, it rushes. That is your life right now. That rushing you are feeling, that sudden clarity, that sense that things are finally moving, that is not random momentum, that is years of reserved blessing breaking through a blockage that just got removed. They were not dead weight, they were active interference. And every single day they were in your life. They were costing you a future they were never meant to be part of. That future is yours now, without condition, without competition, without someone quietly consuming what the universe keeps trying to build in you. Number 8. Your presence was once in a generation, and your absence is the curse they will never outrun. Chosen one, look at them now. They are filling the space with noise, with movement, with new faces, with anything that creates the sensation of not being alone with what they did. None of it works. Every new connection reaches a certain depth and then stops because that depth belongs to a frequency they no longer have access to. They tasted what you were, and nothing ordinary will ever satisfy them again. That is not sentiment. That is consequence. That is the specific and inescapable punishment of destroying something rare. You do not recover from that loss by finding a replacement. There is no replacement. There is only the knowing, and the knowing will follow them into every room, every relationship, every quiet moment for the rest of their lives. Your victories reach them, not because you announce them, because the universe has a way of making sure the people who underestimated a chosen one are present for the reveal. Every smile you wear in your healing is a verdict. Every blessing that lands in your life is a sentence handed down. Every door that opens for you is a door that closes for them. Not by force, by design. They are starving. You are thriving. They are shrinking. You are expanding. They are drowning in regret they cannot name out loud. You are breathing in peace. you finally have room to hold. This is not luck. This is alignment. This is the universe completing a transaction that started the moment they decided to disrespect what was chosen. And chosen one, here is the final truth you need to carry out of this message. You did not lose when they left. You were released. Every tear you cried was not weakness. It was your body processing the removal of a toxin. Every sleepless night was not suffering for nothing. It was the price of a lesson that will protect you for the rest of your life. Every moment you doubted yourself was the last effort of their influence before it permanently lost its grip on you. You are not who you were when they found you. You are not even who you were when they left you. You are someone that specific combination of pain and survival and quiet endurance and chosen resilience has never produced before. You are the version of yourself the universe was preparing for all along. They tried to bury you. They did not know you were a seed. And chosen one, what grows from a seed planted in pain, watered by tears, and kept alive by the specific fire of someone who refused to stop believing in their own worth, that does not just bloom. It becomes something the people who buried it cannot stop staring at from a distance, something they cannot touch, something that costs them sleep, costs them peace, costs them every relationship they tried to build on the same foundation they destroyed with you. That is your story now. Not surviving them, surpassing everything they said you would never be. If this message reached something real inside you today, press the like button and let the universe know this truth is still moving. Subscribe to Oculus of the Wise, because what comes next goes even deeper, and I need you here when it does. Drop 777 in the comments if you felt this in your chest and not just your head, because that is the signal. That is how we know who is truly chosen. Not by what they were given, but by what they survived and still chose to believe in. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not ordinary. You were chosen before any of them ever met you, and you will be chosen long after every single one of them has faded into a memory you no longer carry any weight for. This is Oculus of the Wise, and this is only the beginning of what you are about to become.